Welcome back to the bench. Welcome to Bench Points. If you're the first time joining us, welcome. This is what we do. We talk about college basketball, make some crazy claims, and just manage the chaos that is college basketball and how it reflects on our lives, which is pretty heavy. And thankfully, we're just happy that our families and our wives let us do this because it does consume a lot of time, but my gosh, it's worth it. Especially this year, my gosh, we are so lucky. Great college basketball season so far, and still got a lot of ball to be played. And we had some games this week. So we're going to go ahead and get some things going for a deep dive here, and we're going to kick things off with Michigan putting a beating on Villanova. The Villanova is a pale comparison of what the former Villanova used to be, but I hope at some point in the near future they will make a turnaround because I think basketball's better when they're better.
Right.
But Michigan doing Michigan things and dominating.
Yeah.
I mean, just line them up, knock them down. That's all Michigan's doing right now. They haven't played a game closer than 20 points in a month at this point. This is unreal. And this might have been Elliot Cadeau's best game so far. He made 4 threes. It was fairly efficient. He did have the 4 turnovers, but 4 assists. That was the leading scorer of the game. I don't know. We all thought Michigan was good coming in, but I didn't see this. Like, if you start looking at the metrics, like the KenPom stuff, their defense is so beyond good that it's better than any. Like, it would have been the top. Like right now, it would be the top rated defense from last year over Tennessee and Houston, about like a full point on efficiency. Like it is unreal how good this defense is, and just shutting people down and just locking them out.
Yeah. Preseason, I was pretty high on Michigan. I like their pickups. The player I think I was the most worried about when it comes to Michigan was Elliot Cadeau, and he's playing absolutely phenomenally right now. They had like a mild hiccup with Wake Forest and TCU, who are both turning out to be relatively decent teams. But what they're doing to everybody else in the country right now is just like borderline criminal. I'm pretty sure charges have been pressed over the course of the last 2 weeks on what they've done to teams. In fact, their football coach got arrested for it, I believe. But I mean, it's like, and it's not just like Yexelberg. It's not, or Lindenberg. It's not just, Mari. Everybody's just clicking on all cylinders right now for this team. They've been a lot of fun to watch. I say fun. While at the same time I'm like holding my breath for Big Ten season because I think we've seen our Big Ten champions in the players era here. I don't think it's going to be Purdue this year, but yeah, this Michigan team is just firing on cylinders I've never seen. Hammer actually put out his trapezoid of excellence, and they almost need to make that thing bigger in a way to capture what Michigan's doing. But in the same breath, I saw UK in there. And I had to comment. I was like, hey, I would rerun the numbers 6 or 7 different times to get Kentucky completely out of that trapezoid because they are the furthest thing from excellent I've ever seen in my entire life. And maybe they turn it around, but holy cow, I do not agree with that.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on with the metrics there because, I mean, like even in KenPom, they're top 20, and that doesn't make sense to me at all.
Well, the top 20 is strictly, I mean, you look, they're now 6-0 against quad 4 teams, and they're winning by an average of 40 points. So that you're going to be a metric darling no matter what, if that's what you're doing to quad 4 teams, but they are 0 for the season against quad 1. And I like that is like the measure of an excellent team is what you do in the quad 1 games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, back to Michigan, like this is, like, I don't want to totally just dog Villanova. I didn't have high hopes for them coming into the year. They're doing better than I expected them for this year. Willard has put these pieces together. Askew looks good, but he just doesn't have the legs to play the minutes he needs to carry this team. But I just can't get over it. Like, Michigan's defense is almost 5 points better than everybody on KenPom. Their defensive rating's 85.6, and then second place with Iowa State is 90.3. Like, it's not close. And it's wild because, like, the defense efficiency is so crazy because, I mean, Michigan's been giving up a decent amount of points because their offense is creating so many possessions. And they're putting up 300 a game, so the scores get a little out of whack. But this is unreal. Dusty May is, I mean, I just hope, like, I hope and also at the same time don't hope they've peaked too early. Like,
yeah,
right.
You know, because if they keep going up from here, like they said, that trapezoid of excellence is going to get real weird shape because they're just going to skyrocket up that thing if they keep improving like most teams do. At the same time, if they've peaked too early, it'll be be kind of nice because see him come back down to earth. There's at some point you're going to be able to start betting against Michigan for them not to cover because the books are going to catch up. But right now, like the line for Villanova was 15, and I didn't understand it. That should have been 20 to 25.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for that to have been 15. I hammered it because I was like, there's no way. They just tore through Gonzaga and everybody by 30 and 40. You don't think they're going to put up enough to cover this by 20? Like that was really easy money.
Yeah, I mean, I think what is like 94.6 points per game?
Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty wild. You said 85% for defensive efficiency?
It's not like a percent. I don't know truly the math. It's their defensive rating on KenPom. It's 85.6. I think it's like per 100 possessions or something, they give up 85 points.
Interesting. I wonder what that record is. I'd be curious to know who reached the highest in his model. That'd be an interesting stat.
This has got to be close because getting in those mid 80s numbers is a ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. That's amazing. And they are just a pure basketball team through and through. I mean, it's not like would you say that this team's electric?
I think so. I think they're fantastic to watch. They've got big guys that are like, however you want to watch basketball, they play well. They play good half court with guys back to the bucket with Mara and Lindenberg. Then they can play fast and fast break and slam dunks and big time threes. They also lock you down on defense, and they also block a lot of shots. So
yes, they do.
Every which way you want to watch basketball, Michigan does it, and they probably do it better than your favorite team.
Yep.
Yeah. They sure do.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I like Yaxel. He's an exciting, fun player. Great story as well. I don't think there's anything more to be said about that. I think we'll move on to. I made this note on here, but is BYU the best second half team in the country, or just the worst first half team in the country?
I think both.
Yeah.
So they ended the first half on a 21-0 run against them, and then it was the AJ DeBanza show in the second half. I think Clemson went in the locker room and how the hell did we do that at halftime? And then
they were shocked at themselves.
Instead of being confident, they tried to run out the clock, and that's not going to work. So, just overall kind of disappointed in how BYU has just kind of played with their food through most of this year, and they've lost a couple of their big games. But what is the record? Have they got 2 losses? Their only loss was UConn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they played with their food in several of these games where it's it's been a lot closer than it should be. I could say the same about some of these other top teams. I'll going to Purdue's first half against Minnesota tonight, it was a 3-point game, and now it's 30. But it's just some of these top teams are letting other teams hang around, and I think it's just creating a blueprint for other teams to go after them. I mean, I nothing particularly impressive with BYU as a whole right now, outside of AJ DeManza just deciding, oh yeah, the game's over.
Yeah, I feel bad for Clemson. This is 2 games in a row with 2 top tier teams that they have had chances at to do
on
it.
the road.
They had this game locked up. They had this game beautiful, a great play design. Hiding Rubber right at I think he hit him at a concession stand and just had him sprint out because it was tied, so he's not losing on that. And he nailed the shot. That was great. I think what you're saying between first and second half, this is where I love BYU's coach. I think he's doing a fantastic job. He goes in at halftime and makes enough little adjustments because he's not shifting the whole gameplay or anything.
No,
he's finding a hot hand, and which is typically DeBanza, and figuring out who to take away on defense and shifting that way, and all of a sudden they just come out storming. It shocked me to see Clemson play the way they did in the second half and just stop. You've got to know at this point when you are Clemson, there wasn't high expectations coming into the year. Your talent's not overly graded. You got to be self-aware enough to know that. So that means if you're in that position, you got to keep the gas pedal down the whole time because if you let up at all, and they saw this, DeBanza just took off on them. Saunders didn't hit a 3 all night, and Davis hit 1. 2 of their better scorers ended up with 10 points combined, 5 apiece, from their starters. And it's not like BYU's a deep team. They had 2 points off the bench. So, I'm just shocked that Clemson let that happen. I'm not as impressed with BYU as the comeback. I'm just more disappointed that Clemson, especially after the Alabama game, just let off the gas that much.
Yeah.
No, it was in the end. I mean, right, that whole play was wild. I don't know how you leave him that open and how you don't find him on the floor. That was just sneaky, but that was an electric play, that's for sure. Also, one of the things that I thought that BYU did a little bit better job of is getting Kibakita involved there. I think it was mostly in the second half. I feel like they ooped it to him like 3 or 4 times, it seemed like, and there was no stopping it.
Yeah, like because all the attention's going everywhere else. You're not expecting Kita whatsoever. So it's like I think you'll see more of that. It's just for the looking future, they've got to figure out something on the bench. You can't have 4 of your 5 starters play 35 minutes and get 2 points off your bench. You got to have something because getting into the Big 12, like Iowa State is going to shred them unless they fix that. Houston will probably shred them if they don't fix that. And then Texas Tech, that's going to be a tough one. Kansas will even be tough if you can't find anything more than that on the bench.
Yeah, they'll wear you out. Is so they play BYU plays their next relevant game, I guess, is
Kansas State at Kansas State.
Kansas State, yeah.
Going to Manhattan's never
That
easy.
game used to mean something, but it doesn't anymore.
Kansas State is not great, but going to Manhattan will be interesting.
Mm-hmm. That Texas Tech matchup later in January.
Big 12. First the Big 12 play because then they get into the thick of it.
So I was hesitant to even bring this question up, but I feel like it's still you have to ask it, especially after last night. Is Debanza going to be, if the draft was happening next week? Is he the number 1 guy for an NBA team? Not saying the best player, not saying for Naismith. I'm talking about in the NBA draft.
For an NBA draft, if I'm going best player in college basketball right now, I'm saying Cam Boozer. If I'm saying who's going to go number 1 overall in the NBA draft, it's going to be Debanza. Like I don't like. And that's what I really just don't like about the NBA is like the how things quote unquote translate and yada yada yada, because the NBA is just a borderline unwatchable product sometimes. I mean, look at SGA for example. If you can get somebody up in the air, then hey, guess what? You're an MVP in the league, despite what other players in the league are doing. But when it comes to like a sizable like a guy with some size, some quickness and stuff like that with Boozer, I mean, look at what this is not even a remote close comparison, but look what everybody said about Zach Edey. Zach Edey was not supposed to be successful in the NBA. His game wasn't supposed to translate, yada, yada, yada. He's becoming one of the most dominant centers in the NBA right now. Cam Boozer is going to come in at like a forward spot. He can shoot, he can rebound, he can be tough, he can be physical. He's an adult man in a college basketball game right now, and I think his game will translate very, very well in the NBA. Like, he'll probably be the number 2 pick, but like what Debanza is able to do that NBA scouts love is like completely take over a game, and that's what he's been doing at BYU. He doesn't have the supporting cast that Cam Boozer has, and Cam Boozer's still putting up some crazy numbers. So I think that's something to take a look at too if you're an NBA team. But again, the NBA is just so incredibly different than what it was 20, 30 years ago that, like, for me, like, do I want to go watch everybody throw up 33s and shoot 26%? Nah, that's not for me. I like college basketball because there's still some inside-out game into it. So but I'm a little bit old school.
Debanza's the number 1 pick, without a doubt. It comes down to like position flexibility because him and Boozer are relatively the same height. And at no point do you see Boozer being like translating to like a point, like your point guardish type player, where you can see that you can put that ball in Debanza's hands. Like that's the biggest difference between those two, because Boozer and him probably from deep, probably shooting relatively the same percentage wise. Boozer could take over a game, but I don't know that the potential for him to take over a game at the NBA level is there. But where Debanza, you could see that potential with like Kevin Durant-esque type like frame to him and stuff, and just not as tall and type game. So if I've got the number 1 pick, that's who I'm taking without a doubt. So I'm going to be interested to see how Darren Peterson grades out with that stuff. It came back off the injury, played well, but we'll like. There's not a ton of film on him right now, especially against top tier talent. So I don't know what to make of him yet.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair. Also, hey, another Big Ten team that is just playing. I feel like they're just playing steady right now. and especially as they plow through our Tennessee Volunteers for Jake and I. But Illinois steadily puts away Ohio State to kick off Big Ten play. Illinois 88, Ohio State 80.
And the Ohio State is such an interesting team. They're pesky. I think Thornton's been in the league for 6 or 7 years, along with
I feel
Braden
like
Smith.
forever.
Like Braden Smith, TKR, Fletcher Lawyer, Bruce Thornton. They
That's Big
graduated
Ten
high school when I
basketball.
was in college.
Yeah.
They've been in college for a long time now. Ohio State's pesky. I don't think they're at the level of like your top tier Big Ten teams, like your Purdue, your Michigan, your Michigan State, your Illinois. But like I do like seeing them put up some fight. I felt like Illinois, like there were times where like they did whatever they want, and then they would go stretches where they didn't, and it was kind of a strange game.
Yeah, Ohio State's like is an interesting team to keep an eye on. 'Cause, I mean, Thornton went for 34 and he played all 40 minutes. I mean that offense is him right now, and he's good enough to carry it through because he also had 6 assists and 6 rebounds. Like he was doing everything. But they're gonna have to have some other people step up if they're gonna do anything in the Big Ten. Illinois, man, that's a team. Like they are, it's coming from everywhere because Tomislav Ivicevic might as well not have played that game. I mean, he had 27 minutes, but 7 points and 2 rebounds. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing. Boswell, like I don't know if the shoulder's still bothering him, but that was probably his worst game of the year.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter because you have the other Ivicevic come off like Big Z. He goes for 13. Wagler, the freshman, is out of his mind, playing very, very good basketball right now.
He needs more love, in my opinion.
Yeah,
they're national picture.
They are a team, and they are going to be a problem. A little worried about what they're going to do defensively, but right now that offense puts enough pressure on your offense that the defense can lag a little bit. Sometimes the best defense is a good offense.
Mm-hmm. And Jake, you've said this for the past few weeks, and I think it needs to be kind of even more reiterated that this isn't just. They're just not just a great shooting team. They're not this European style where they're shooting threes and outside shots. That's their main. They're not one dimensional. They're really kind of. I mean, they are taking it to the hoop. They're being aggressive. They're kicking it out. They're moving the ball around.
They don't miss free throws either. I mean, they shot 90% this game.
Yeah,
as a team, which is crazy.
I was about to call that out. Yeah, 91%. That's what I would give. But there's something else about this game that. I felt there were a lot of fouls. The game had to. I felt like it lasted for forever.
Yeah.
But and really for it to kind of the score to be what it is, I'm kind of even surprised by that. But I guess that's what happens when you have that high of a free throw percentage.
Yeah, I mean that's how you cover up because I mean Ohio State outshot them by 7. Like having that many more shots and then still losing by 8 is a wild stat.
Yeah, for sure. And the game that kind of capped things off, I'm very interested to see, and I'm really anxious to hear about what you guys think about the game. But the UConn versus Florida. UConn took care of business. Florida hung in there. Do you think Florida played maybe their best game of the season?
Yeah, actually.
Welcome to college basketball, Xavier Lee. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Yes. So I think Florida played tough. For the first time all year. They out-rebounded a very, very good UConn team. I mean, shot okay from the floor. Their three-point percentage was absolutely abysmal. But they played tough. They outscored them in the paint, not by a lot, but they outscored them in the paint. The turnover margin was relatively close. They got 7 blocks to UConn's 3. I mean, overall, I think this was the best game Florida's played all year, but I still we're looking at the top 3 teams preseason. Florida's been the biggest disappointment, and Houston and Purdue have kind of I guess leveled out somewhere in the top 10, which is where I think they're going to stay. But UConn now has clear pathing to a 1 line. They've handled business. They have an asterisk loss to Arizona. I know Arizona is very high on everybody's radar right now. I'm giving them an asterisk win over UConn because 2 starters were out. They beat an okay Florida team. UCLA are going to flirt inside and outside of the rankings, depending on, what Donovan decides to do and what Mick Cronin decides if he wants to coach this team. But I did feel like this was the best game for Florida so far. One little note that I want to add for UConn, my boy Braylon Mullins, first half was in for 2 minutes, 2 fouls, came in and added an immediate spark, only had 6 points, but it was a very loud 6 points that UConn needed to kind of right the ship a little bit. I'd like to see him play more than 11 minutes. I feel like he's not finding the floor right now. But I know Dan Hurley's got some big plans for that kid. But it was actually a relatively decent point distribution for UConn. I mean, Caravan 13, Reed 12, Solo Ball 19, maybe 9, Mullins 6, Smith 5. I mean, it was pretty decent point spread. I don't think anybody did too exceptional, nor did they do too bad. I think this UConn team is just flat out solid, and I think they've got the clearest path besides Duke to a one line.
I think it even might be more clear than Duke's because the ACC is starting to shape up to be
Yeah.
a little bit better.
That's
than
a
the-
Yeah, well,
that's fair.
you got a couple really good teams in the ACC. I mean, Wake is doing pretty decent. Obviously,
Clemson's the least feisty with it.
Clemson,
Yeah.
Syracuse ACC.
Yep.
Yeah, Syracuse is giving teams fits. Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously Louisville, North Carolina. Despite how much
NC
that breaks
State.
my heart to say out loud. So
Yeah, but I'm still. I don't know. I'm not sold on this UConn team. I do not. I think we're putting too many varies in front of how good they are. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm not convinced that their wins are that good either. I mean, we're talking about BYU who can't get it figured out in the first half yet, and plays with the food. Illinois and Kansas, and then Florida. Illinois is the only one that's like impressive to me. Kansas not impressive. Florida's not impressive because like neither of those teams have played that well. Did Kansas have Peterson for that?
no,
So you beat Kansas by 5 without their top player. So like that's not even a decent win at this point. So I don't know. I think things are getting the UConn name and Dot Hurley's name is doing a lot of lifting here. I don't know that this team is that good, but that doesn't really matter because they do have Hurley and they do have that UConn name, and they've got a very weak Big East and the St. John.
yeah,
And their biggest competition is struggling in St. John's, so it's going to be it should be a cakewalk for them to.
yeah. They have 100% got clear path. I believe the Big Ten teams, the top Big Ten teams, are going to beat the hell out of each other all year. Maybe not Michigan, but Illinois, Purdue, Michigan State. I think they're all going to just absolutely grudge match through the entire year. ACC Duke has got some fierce competition. The Big 12 is a gauntlet.
Yep.
I don't think the SEC will produce a one line this year, but
No.
I think SEC is going to have a lot of tournament teams, but it's going to be an interesting year for the SEC too. But yeah, this UConn team is just a rocket on their ass to a one line right now with everything that they were able to handle in their non-con schedule, which was in a crazy aggressive non-con schedule. Yeah, they're clear path.
Who knows? Maybe Seton Hall will give them trouble. Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe DePaul wakes up and realizes they have to play basketball.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, I was just looking at UConn's rest of their schedule, and it is kind of like saying what you've been saying. I mean, there's just not a whole lot there to challenge them, other than St. John's, and they're falling slowly.
I got to shout out my coworker here because he was just like, "Well, what about Texas?" And I'm like, "What about Texas?" It's like, what do you want me to tell you? I was like, Cam Heidi's going to give you fits. He didn't a couple years ago, so I think what is he going to do now? So yeah, I thought that was funny. I was like, I'd like to see Mullins start to get some serious minutes here, so he's ready for the tournament when it comes around.
I mean, he will. It might not be the Texas game, but they'll beat after that. They'll beat Butler, DePaul, and Xavier probably by a combined 150 points. So he'll have all the time he wants.
We're going to go to that Butler game, right?
We can try to.
Yeah.
All right. That kind of is our deep dive into the games. So I guess it over Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, really just Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, really just Tuesday. That's right. Yeah, this week's running a little thin, but I think there's plenty to talk about when it comes to the AP poll. Which teams benefited the most from this week's AP poll?
I mean, I'd argue that Michigan should be number 1 over Arizona. The votes weren't as close as I thought they were going to be.
I thought that was completely shocking. I thought it would be neck and neck.
I'd be honest with you. I think you could take the top 4 and spread all the number 1 votes out evenly. Like, I think Iowa State has a legit claim to be number 1. I mean, they absolutely dog walked the number 1 team in Mackey Arena. Duke has been absolutely phenomenal all year. Michigan, absolutely phenomenal all year. Arizona is the one, and I'm going to say this till I die. Like, Arizona is the one team I believe least out of this top 4. Then, like, out of those 4, though, you could put any one of them at number 1, and, like, I don't think anybody would really argue. The 5 through 10, I don't have an argument on this either. UConn number 5. They've got one loss to the number 1 team in the country. Purdue got one loss to the number 4 team in the country. Houston's one loss came to Tennessee, who's struggling a little bit right now, but it was a close loss in a neutral court. Gonzaga, their one loss to the number 2 team in the country, albeit by 40. Michigan State, their one loss to the number 3 team in the country. BYU, am I starting to sound like a broken record here? These top 10 teams, like what we talked about last week, is the top 12 teams in week 6 every year. One of those teams winds up winning the national tournament, national championship. Look at our top 12. I just read you off the top 10, followed by Louisville and Alabama. And then you got Illinois just on the outside of that 12. I think the top 4 have separated themselves completely, but this top 12 has separated themselves from the entire country.
Yeah, because Vanderbilt's the interesting case because I don't know what to make of them yet because they haven't played of anybody of value. But all the metrics seem to love them. They're handling their business like crazy. Outside of that, no clue what's going on. It's interesting because Tennessee, Florida, Kansas, Arkansas, none of those are teams I would be confident saying they're going to get to the second weekend. Texas Tech, you can throw Texas Tech in there. Then they'll from after Tennessee down, you could put any team there and it's not going to matter because those teams are just going to be constantly rotating in and out, in and out, in and out. Virginia's an interesting team to me because I think they could be sneaky, but I don't see them being anywhere near the top 15, top 20 is about their ceiling. But it's just, I don't know. And not seeing Kentucky ranked is fun. I'm glad that we let that happen.
Yeah, hold on. The Kentucky team that is in the trapezoid of excellence. I love Hammer. I really do.
Yeah,
yes. It's like check your model.
It's gonna be interesting. I'm curious what to make of Georgia.
I know
the way they're playing right now is wild. They're playing extremely fast, extremely offensively, and it's working out for them. But I don't know. It's going to be an interesting SEC season for that. This is one of the I don't know what magic curse or not curse is put on the AP poll, but it's like they don't pay attention all year before or after the Week 6 poll, but it's like, oh, we got to get that Week 6 poll right so we get to continue the streak of having the champion in the top 12 because I really don't have an argument for any of this. Yeah, you can't even argue Iowa should be in over UCLA when they had their chance. Dropped the ball. Same Oklahoma State and USC, Georgia, they've all dropped the ball when they had their chance to be ranked. And so I don't know. It's weird to totally agree with everything the AP people did. It's not my usual stance.
I don't think I have an issue with the top 12, 13 teams. I think this is obviously the rule of the top 12 or whatever that, Illinois right on the cusp there.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a very spot on top 12. And I think this top 12 has definitely separated themselves.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The remaining, let's say those outside of the top 12, so 13 to 25, who's the next team to fall out of the top 25?
Tennessee.
I knew Jake was going to say it.
Auburn.
They've got Louisville coming.
They got Louisville, yeah.
Well, if they handle business against Louisville, if they win against Louisville, which I think this is a good matchup for Tennessee because, I'll tell you what, I watched the Louisville-Indiana game, and Louisville jumped out 16-0, right away on Indiana, and then lost the rest of the game. They just lost the rest of the game. They wound up winning by 8, but, you're up 16-0. It should be a 20, 30-point game by the time it's all said and done, and it was an 8-point game. And I don't know exactly how I feel about this Indiana team because they've looked terrible against Minnesota, which Purdue just beat Minnesota by damn near 30, 28 points. And then they lost to this Indiana team, also lost to Louisville, but then goes and beats Penn State by 40 with Lamar Wilkerson hitting 10 threes. I don't know about this Indiana team, but they hung tough against this Louisville team, and Tennessee is better than Indiana. So I think if they win this one, I think they're right back in that top 15 area. I think the team I don't believe in at all right now is Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Auburn 21 is just wild to me.
Like I said, because there was enough cushion there because everybody at the bottom was losing too.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't trust Tennessee's offense at all whatsoever. Like Indiana was able to hang with them because like DeVries is not going to let the Indiana team lose if he has anything to say about it, and he did everything he could, and like Wilkerson can go nuts as we've seen. It's just the Tennessee offense is. Hopefully Gillespie's hot and maybe we clean up some rebounds. Like there's no second option right now, and because Carey's easy to stop because he's a very strong guy, but he's a defensive hole out there because as soon as you drag him outside the paint, so he can't be on the floor that much. And if you're feeding him the ball under the goal, if you put a 7-foot guy on him, I don't know how well those post moves work to cover 6 inches or whatever he needs there. But I don't know. But yeah, Auburn, I don't trust them at all whatsoever. But I don't think they've got a game for a while that risks knocking them out of, like, unless they just do something stupid, knocking them out of the top 25. I think Tennessee's at least got that Tuesday game of with Louisville that it could knock them out easy. I mean,
Yep.
like this is the one time of year that just kind of sucks with college basketball because you've got between Christmas and finals weeks and all that, so you're not getting a ton of games throughout the week. I mean, Saturday's got okay slate, nothing super special, but it's I don't know, just like this is the time of year that you take the kids to go see Santa, you go to get your Christmas shopping done, and all that before all the games start kicking back on again.
Yeah, there are a few games I'm really looking forward to on Saturday, to the point where I'm like, Mary, go take Carson to go see Santa. I'm not. Obviously, Purdue plays against Marquette, but Arkansas, Texas Tech, that's going to be an absolutely fun game.
Illinois, Nebraska, this would be a fun one.
Yeah,
This Marquette team is not the Marquette team of yore, so I don't think Purdue should have any issue with them.
is Shaka on the hot seat?
I don't think so.
He's gonna have to make some changes in the offseason in order to, play in the NIL. He needs to play the game a little bit. He's not.
Yeah, but I think he's got some credit there.
Yeah.
Nebraska, Illinois, that's gonna be cinema.
Arizona, Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say Kansas and NC State should be a fun one too.
Yeah, depending which NC State shows up.
But yeah, then you got 2 back-to-back games on ESPN. So if you're willing to stay up till 2:00 in the morning, you got Arizona, Alabama, which should be an absolutely fantastic game, followed by UCLA, Gonzaga.
Will you finally start believing in Arizona if they win this one?
No.
I mean,
Man.
it's not a road game, but that's a road game. They're playing in Birmingham.
I'll make you guys I'll make you guys a bet right here. I believe Alabama will win this game. If they don't, I will find an Arizona shirt and wear it on a podcast, and I will say I believe in Arizona.
Or you have to put their court as your background for a podcast episode.
I don't want to do that to you guys, but you know what? I don't know how to do that, but I would just assume buy an Arizona T-shirt.
Yeah. Wait, where's that game being played, Jake? Where'd you say?
Birmingham.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
the matchup indicator has Arizona at 64%, by the way.
Which I tend to agree with it because Alabama's big glaring hole has been rebounding, and that's where they get themselves into trouble. And Arizona's got some very thick boys down there that Alabama's going to have a hard time moving, and those guys can run. So I think this is a bad matchup for Alabama. They're going to have something special out of their guards to keep up, and I don't know that they've got it this year to beat this. I think Arizona is every day proving how good they are, especially as you get Burries, however say his name, especially as he wakes up. I mean, you've got Koa Pete and Bradley, Nakrivas and Delio, so like they're loaded. They're loaded. I think this goes Arizona's way. I don't know how much, but I think Arizona wins this game.
I'm gonna say right now, just a early prediction. I'm gonna say Alabama by 6.
Alabama by 6.
Clip it.
The game after that, I think Gonzaga's going to win by 150.
Yeah, I double digits for sure. I I think maybe they keep it somewhat close. But yeah, I think it's going to be double digits. I don't think it's going to be 20 or anything like that. I'm guessing like 15.
I don't know that they've got the offense to stay in it.
Yeah, I like this UCLA team. It's like it's just such an ebb and flow team. Yeah, isn't that right,
Mac?
Mac?
Yeah, tell them about it. I mean, it's being played in Seattle, so it's half a home game for Gonzaga. UCLA is at best. I just don't think that they're going to be able to control the pace enough to keep Gonzaga from doing what they want to do. I don't think they've got the size to play with EK and Huff, let alone whoever else Gonzaga brings off the bench. No, but it's just
So we're saying I have no time this weekend to watch basketball except for one game, and you have to pick one out of what we just mentioned. Not one of our. It doesn't have to be one of our teams that we follow, but what's the best game? If I'm just a college basketball fan, I want to watch it. I want to watch one game that's not my own, of my own fandom. What game are you going with?
Arizona, Bama. I think
Yeah.
that like
Yeah,
even if it's not close, it's going to be two fun styles of basketball to watch.
Correct.
So I think no matter which way this game ends up, it's very entertaining.
If my Geritol kicks in, then yeah, I'll stay up and watch Alabama or Arizona. The game I'm really looking forward to is Nebraska, Illinois. I think that's going to be cinema.
Yeah, I plan on catching a little bit of this Wisconsin and Nebraska game here tonight, so we'll see.
Yeah, I've got I just paused it at the very end of this Minnesota Purdue game in case I miss any of this Nebraska Wisconsin game because I actually kind of like watching this Nebraska team. They're a lot of fun.
Hoiberg's a fun coach. I mean, those Iowa State teams he had were good.
Mm-hmm.
Then he just never really worked out for him in the pros. But I enjoy him as a coach at the college level, and I think he's going to have Nebraska playing very solid basketball year in, year out.
Yeah, that's exciting. All right, so I don't think we have any. Well, I guess we could say bench behavior could be Michigan's former coach. I don't know what's happening.
They sacrificed their coach and their entire football program for the Michigan basketball team that they've got right now because, from a team that went from a national title a couple years ago to what they are now, I believe the sacrifices have officially been made, and now they are the gods of basketball.
I mean, it took the whole state of Indiana sacrificing everything for the Indiana Hoosiers to have a chance at a college football championships.
Golly, who would have thought?
Hard facts there.
I mean, we could throw FIFA on there for making the pride match Iran versus Egypt. So that's a fun.
That is a bench behavior. I mean, that's outside of my zeitgeist, but I know enough that is wild.
There's two countries where it's illegal to be gay, and we're going to make them play in the pride match. No way.
What?
Yep.
Look, politics aside, and your feelings on FIFA aside, I had no intentions of buying any tickets to any World Cup match, and I kind of want to go to this. Look, walk a fine line right down the middle here on this podcast. Live your life however you want to, but I want to watch this game. I really want to watch this game. I want to see the confusion on these players' faces. So,
why predetermine the game? Knowing you've got, that's where this gets crazy. It's just call one after.
Yeah.
Well, draw the teams and they go, okay, here it is. Why did you have to announce it before the draw? That makes no sense. This was a PR nightmare waiting to happen because now they've put it where they've got to make a stand one way or the other. And they've backed themselves into a corner that I mean, FIFA's just a terrible organization anyway, very corrupt and all that. What was it, a handful of years ago when they played at Qatar or whatever the name of that country is, that turned out that was just pure bribery.
Right.
Yeah.
Dirty. Yeah. Netflix documentary stuff right there.
It was.
Yeah. We do have a great standing O. One of you boys shared this in our chat, but Harrison Barnes with my San Antonio Spurs, just been an awesome human being, showing up at a big box store and just started paying people's bills. Just at the cashier line. Yeah, he went to 2 different grocery stores and was just covering everybody's stuff, and then giving them $200, and taking not just doing it and writing a check and leaving. He was hanging out, talking to people, taking his time with the fans, you letting them ask questions, do all that. Handed them $200 gift cards too after he paid for the bills. There was no
preamble and hype up for all this. And dude just showed up and did it. It takes a lot for me to say nice things about a guy that graduated from UNC.
I was waiting for that.
But this was impressive. Nothing. I've never heard a crossword about the guy, especially off the court.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of really good things about him. He seems to be a really stand-up guy and just a very quiet guy, too. And I like that. He's an incredible basketball player, but seems to be a better human than he is a basketball player.
Yeah. You'll love to see it.
Yep, absolutely. One more thing,
go for it.
And this isn't about the Colts organization at all.
Philip Rivers.
Like the organization is absolutely collapsing. But standing O to Philip Rivers for even answering the phone.
Dude, okay, hold on. I've got 3 kids. I'll take whatever excuse I have to get out of the house at times. If you tell me one day a week he can just not be at the house with his 17 kids,
yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I picture
he's
like
please.
from Major League when they called old dude up. He's like, would you like to be the manager? He's like, I don't know. I'm changing my grandson's diaper. But hey, wait to the phone.
I love that.
Colts called me up at 42. I'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
It's like I'm look, it hurts to get out of the shower sometimes.
Yeah.
Let alone get trucked by a 275-pound linebacker.
I don't care what age he is. I think he'd always take that call. He's just that guy.
Yeah.
He's a football junkie. I think he was coaching high school football.
Yeah,
I think
as well.
It makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's a great one.
It's just like worked out on Monday, signed on Wednesday. I mean, apparently the arm still got gas. Maybe 5 years off is what he needed to get. What we got 6 more games, 4 more games, something like that.
Yeah.
One of the owners of the company I work for was sitting next to me today, and he's like, "Did you hear the Colts signed Philip Rivers?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "So what is he? Just like an honorary team member?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure he's the starting quarterback." And they're like,
I'm pretty sure he's starting.
What about Anthony Richardson? It's like he's blind. It's like, what about
the freak accident? I mean, he was blind before
This get back to the original podcast where I talked about the most pessimistic fan base, and this is why.
Yep.
We have our 2 backups. One's blind and the other one's hurt worse than our starting quarterback. So it's fantastic.
So that is true. And this isn't necessarily a standing O, but it's like a standing O / Reco. Is that I'm so excited for the Stuart Scott documentary on ESPN. They're doing like a 30 for 30 on Stuart Scott, and that guy was like a part of my childhood. And I think it's actually called Booyah, which is pretty sweet. So I'm keep it cool, just like the other side of the pillow. And I think that's awesome. Yeah. Like it's something like that. That's one of my favorite lines. But Stuart Scott, he was the man. He was ESPN, and I'm glad they're giving him his flowers. And I know they always tend to bring him up a lot, but I love to do a 30 for 30. I fully plan on watching that whole thing.
Yeah, ESPN can go kick rocks with no shoes on, but anything about Stuart Scott's going to make me feel emotions again, and I'm
no
old
doubt about it.
Old school Sports Center and all that was amazing. I don't know what happened. It was
Disney.
You had well, I mean, they were always a Disney. They were always a Disney company.
They have been for that long?
Yeah, it's always been ABC. ABC is Disney as on ESPN.
Dang.
Like very, very, very early on. But like you had like Kenny Mayne and what's his face, Rich Eisen, Dan Patrick, all those guys, like great. Linda Cohn too. You fantastic. It's like they just forgot to get Sports Center anchor talent, and then I don't know, it took a turn somewhere. But I mean, there was to the point where like that sound, when you heard that sound, that da-da-da, like they've gotten even rid of that, and that was like that sound just meant everything. Like first thing in the morning or when you got home from school and all that. Like the only thing left from old school ESPN is PTI, and I mean those guys are. I know they just signed an extension, but they can't keep going. I think Kornheiser's pushing 80.
Yeah,
that's wild. Did they really just start? That's amazing. That show's been around for forever. But yeah, no, that's I think that's gonna be a really cool watch. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Well, I think Coach is about to tap us on the shoulder for us to go do our jobs, but we need you to go do your job, and that is to one assignment. You have one assignment for homework tonight, and that is to go check out winwearapparel.com, and you're going to find something you like. I know you will, so go and use Bench Points as the promo code there, and do that before you go to bed tonight, because you know you're missing that one person that you need to get that gift for, and you've got a party that's coming up next week, and you forgot about them. Winwear Apparel is where you can solve that problem.
Right on.
Sir, yes, sir. All right. Take care, y'all.
See you at the next blowout.